Go take plastic back. We're gonna rock with it. We're gonna rock with it like this. Yo. Let's talk about it, man. So, shout out to all you guys, ladies and gentlemen, that I appreciate that. Thank y'all for tuning in. Let's talk about it, man. Man, this YouTube audio sounds like garbage. Dude, this YouTube audio sounds like garbage. Man, this YouTube audio sounds like garbage. It ain't that bad as long as you pause it. All else fails. This YouTube audio sounds like garbage. All right, that's better than nothing. Shout out to all you guys. What's up? JPTV3000. Thank y'all for tuning in. And today we talking about what's been going on in the oil field. For all the people that I talked to, that were asking me questions about oil and gas industry. Whatever comments or questions you got, hop on this sucker or leave a comment down there in the bottom. I'm gonna be outside for a minute, going through all of my old oil field stuff. And if you need any oil field, man, I wish I could have turned this thing sideways after I started it. But we in here now. But anyway, you need any oil field equipment, especially clothes, winter jackets, coveralls, shirts. Let me know. As long as you pay for it and the shipping, hell, I'll send it to you in the mail. So give me a second. Shout out to Jet. Dirty Bro 215. What's up, man? Shout out to Gusto Corte. Says always great to see your new videos. Shout out to Dirty Bro 215. If you guys are looking for some solid information. If you're looking for some trucking information, if you're looking for some good quality adult intellect conversation when it comes to preparing for the later parts of your life, whether it's retirement, business, looking at consistency and how consistency can pay off. DB215. He's got a YouTube channel. You guys check him out. He makes great content. I support the dude 100%. Hey, I mean, I'm giving you a shout out right here in front of everybody. Also, I want to give a shout out to Nick. Uh, I gotta make. I gotta find your dog on YouTube channel. Uh, Doggone it. Shout out to I'm my ROI Media. I'll show y'all what it looks like. Shout out to I'm my ROI Media, and he's got some great content and podcasts. He's getting started in the YouTube world. And shout out to Chasing Andrew Jackson, Checkmate 10, Truck Unity Clips. Uh, Shout out to the whole bullpen gang and the Mad Trucker Nation. Shout out to all you guys. But I got stuff to do today, so we're just gonna kind of hang out and talk. Any questions that you guys got, throw them out there, and I will answer them to the absolute best of my ability. And shout out to the JN and I said shout out to Jet. Appreciate that. Thank y'all for tuning in and hanging out with me. And like I said, need Arctic FR Oilfield clothes or anything like that. You guys let me know. Sizes of 4XL, 4XL, 3XL, 44R, which 44R is large, I think, large or extra large. It's brand new with tags. And I haven't made a live video in like a good little while. 2XL. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in and checking out the content on my YouTube channel. I've been chilling, minding my own business, staying at home and staying at home and out of the way. Give me a second. Uh, to the gentleman that I met at the Lowe's uh, in Laurel, Mississippi. If you're seriously interested in working in the oil and gas, uh, especially if you're a younger guy, I would say try out a workover rig. Companies are usually always hiring. You have your CDL. Oilfield truck driving companies do hire, but they tend to want somebody with experience. There's quite a few companies that you can get involved with and you can go work for. Uh, and you guys let me know. Make sure y'all can hear me good. If y'all can't, if you can hear me good, put a hear you good or thumbs up or something. But, how was the Philippines? Unsubscriber 007. The Philippines was awesome. The Philippines was awesome. The Philippines was awesome. The Philippines was so awesome that I stayed there for 4 months from October 20th or 21st till March the 6th. So that's how great the Philippines was. I enjoyed it 100%. I would absolutely go back again and again and again. And I'm happy I stayed there long. The biggest thing I gained from staying there as long as I did, it allowed me to not make mistakes, and it also allowed me to make mistakes that I learned from. It also allowed me to network with other people that I met and pick their minds and their brains on stuff. I met a lot of black folks over there. I met a lot of uh, military people from the United States, and I met military people from other countries too. So that was that was one of the best things about going over there. It was just going to be a 30-day vacation, and after I got there, like, no, I want to see some more of the country. And the longer I stayed there, the more I got used to it. You can go there and just, have your a dirt cheap vacation. In my opinion, this is my opinion. Whether it's I haven't been to the DR or I haven't been to any of the South American countries, I've only been to the Philippines and Canada. And I would say that going to any country that has a advantage of 50 to 1 US dollar. Any place like that, whether it's Colombia, the DR, I haven't been, but I personally know people that have been there. They try to get me to go there, but I kind of wanted to go somewhere that I didn't know anybody else that had been there other than coworkers. Rest in peace, Terry. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you and your family. Shout out to all the guys that I work with at Patriot, Step, Neighbors, when that company used to be around, Calfrac. Man, I got a message from Robinson Oil saying $45 an hour. Come haul fuel. I was like, "Hmm, $45 $45 an hour to come haul the fuel bulk truck. Hmm, maybe. But the part of the oil field that I've gotten into, I actually enjoy it. Like I enjoy what I do. I do coil too. I like coil too. I like what uh I like the activity of the coil too. You younger guys, you can get into frac and work over rig and some of the other stuff. But for the guys that are in their 40s, you're going to go work in the oil field, especially if you're going to go work. Unsubscriber 007, appreciate that, bro. And like I said before, shout out to all you guys. Unsubscriber 007, VG, DB215, Augusta Cote, and Jet. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate that. Thank y'all for tuning in to the content. Thank y'all for checking out the videos. And like I said, if you want to purchase any oil and gas, FR coveralls, shirts, anything like that, send me a message. As long as you pay for it, I'll send it to you. It's gonna be cheaper than you can get it anywhere else. one subscriber ordered something from me, and I sent it to him. I think he wanted some winter. Uh, he wanted some winter stuff. So you will not be the first. After that engagement, we kind of figured out how to show with sand gel. They not around. Yeah, when it comes to when it comes to when it comes to travel, when it comes to traveling, I definitely expect and plan to travel again. I definitely expect and plan to travel more. So you guys have to ask me questions. You ask me questions, I can answer some stuff. Kind of, you know, keep the conversation, keep the conversation going. Also, if you guys don't have an Indeed account, whether you use Indeed or you use ZipRecruiter or you use something else, like I'm in Mississippi. There's no chance in hell I would ever be wearing this thing. Anyway, hold on, give me a minute. Jason Andrew Jackson, what you doing for work nowadays? Absolutely nothing. I'm doing absolutely nothing. Since I came back, I have uh, I have worked on my house, doing zero work outside of that's another thing, man. Home ownership, bro. I know a lot of people don't talk about it. Home ownership. You own a house. You have to maintain a house. Let me tell you, it's always something. It's always something all the time. So if you get you a newer house, you'll have less things that'll show up. But as far as working, shout out to Chase and Andrew Jackson. As far as working right now, this is the work that I'm doing. Organizing this stuff that I've been needing to get rid of for years. And sell all this stuff so I can have more space in my shed. That's pretty much what I'm doing right now. Question is, what are you guys up to? You guys have any questions? Anything related to trucking or the oil field? That blue and white 1988 Freightliner FLC is still sitting back there. If the internet would reach all the way back there, I'd be making videos from back there, but it don't reach. Henry Bob Swillikers. What's up, man? Henry Bob Swillikers. Bro, You've been a viewer of my YouTube videos for a long time, man. Thank you, bro. Shout out to Chasing Andrew Jackson. Shout out to all you guys who subscribe to 007, DG, DB215. Shout out to all you guys, man. Y'all the reason that I keep making YouTube videos. I get positive encouragements. And y'all like, yeah, man. And then somebody will say, hey, shout out to Purity Oilfield Services. I remember those days. Brand new with the tag still on. Tag still on. Two extra. But I've been chilling, staying out of trouble. Now, as far as that Philippines stuff, you guys have to kind of let me know if you can talk about trucking, Oilfield, or my travels. Either one. As far as Philippine videos and content, I've got a whole year worth of it all the time I spent over there. So if y'all want to see more of that stuff in the future, just let me know. I've got a few posts on my YouTube channel about the Philippines stuff. I would definitely say to anybody that's an American, if you're an American, you are an American passport holder. The Philippines has your name written all over it. That country says Americans come here. You're supposed to be over there by satellite, or your country, United States of America, has secured the Philippines for you, just like they secured Puerto Rico, just like they've secured the U.S. Virgin Islands, I think. And hopefully we're going to be securing Greenland and going to go get some of that oil that they got off in the ground. But we'll see how that works out. But your country, your empire that you are a citizen of, has secured the Philippines for you, and it's safe. Philippines is. I felt safer there than. I'll explain it to you like this. I'm from Mississippi. I don't go to Jackson unless I'm flying somewhere. We don't go to Jackson like that. We'll drive through Jackson, but like, we ain't hanging around, especially South Jackson, south of the highway or anything up in there. But Philippines has been secure for you. I never got into a fight with anybody. Never even got close. I know one of the reasons is there's nobody trying to there's nobody trying to compete with anybody over status or women or anything like that in the Philippines. Philippines, them people focused on living and trying to eat. That's it. Their priorities are nothing like our priorities. You think the oil field will ever be great again? I said, dude, the oil field is great right now. It just doesn't seem like it because there's always and there will always be money in the oil field. You're just not going to see it in one spot. You have to be somewhere where you can see a variety of things, where you can network with a variety of people. Just going in one spot, you ain't gonna see it. Just doing one thing, you ain't gonna see it, because you'll only see that narrow view of what you're looking at. And it's some stuff, man. It takes time. You can go up there and have a plan that you're gonna do this and that, but if you haven't made any connections, if you haven't met any people, if you haven't invested time, and that's gonna take more than a winter. It's gonna take more than a spring or a summer. It's gonna take being there. That's my personal experience, and that applies to the entry level oil field stuff to people that have been there for 15, 20, 30 years. You could just do one thing if you just want to do one thing. I can drive trucks in. So that opens the door for you to do something different. I like being out of the truck. We drive stuff out to location, rig everything in, and then we do the job until we rig over to the next well or we go to the next pad. So do something different. Get out and challenge yourself. Don't just do the same thing. Don't just do the same thing. There's money in the oil field right now. I had a conversation with a coworker yesterday. He said, hey man, guess how much I made so far this year? I was like, how much? He said, this is working a job, a W-2 job. He said he's made 60 grand so far this year. January, February, March, April. April's not even finished with yet. So there's money in the oil field. Everybody don't go telling everybody everything when they don't know you. Give you an example. A friend of mine's talking about going out to uh, West Texas to go work. I ain't gonna say a friend of mine, but this guy I know was talking about going out to West Texas to go work. I'm like, yeah, but I remember asking him like 5 years ago, 8 years ago, like, hey man, come up here to the oil field. This is when I had my apartment. I said, hey, to all family and friends, hey, anybody want to come up here, come work in the oil field? I'll move out of my apartment. I'll pay it up 3, 4 months, and then you can get started and get on your feet, and I can go get me an apartment somewhere else. And nobody never came. Nobody ever came. Not one family member came. Not one friend came. And when does somebody offer you a paid for an apartment underneath that? Underneath their name? To this day, I had a talk with another person I know. And he said, hey man, he really wants to come work in the oil field. I was like, man, come on up there. When I go back, you just come up there with me. He says he ain't got no driver's license. At least have a driver's license. If you ain't got no driver's license, man, it's like walking on glass everywhere you go. But it is what it is. It is what it is. 250 quit. I quit my gold mining job. 250 quit. I quit my gold mining job. Chasing Andrew Jackson says so. Basically, everyone but truck drivers are being paid great in the oil field. Dude, truck drivers are making money too. They are making money too. They're just being consistent, being consistent, being consistent. It's just like anything else. And what making money is different depending on who you talk to. Some people making money around here in Mississippi. I think our state is, if you make 70,000 a year, you're killing it. And I think the median average household income is around $50,000 a year. So if you work at Howard Industries over here, I think they're making around 60 to 70. Me personally, I've been ruined now that I've had more traveling before I went overseas. More traveling. I like traveling. I like moving around, and also I like the rotation stuff. 20 and 10, 20 and 9 is kind of, but you can count your first off day as not being a day, really, because you most of us that work in the oil field, if you work 20 and 10, 14 and 7, or 14 and 14. Your first off day when you get back is going to be sleep. That's going to be your first off day. Your first off day back is just going to sleep. Sleep and rest. That second or third day, you know, you'll kind of start to come out of. So truck drivers are making money. It really depends on what you're doing and where you're going and what kind, because you also have work competition. I'll give you an example. You whose name that I won't mention, that company where you were at, they had 3 crews going. Let's say something happened and they dropped a crew for whatever reason. Now you have 15 people, depending on how many people are on the crew, and 2 crews working and 1 crew at the yard. So unless they can catch some other work, pick up another customer or something, same thing would apply to trucking also. They're at the yard not working. Trucking and oil field is similar. You have to keep truck drivers busy. Truck drivers need to stay busy. Oil field guys, they need to stay busy. They need to stay busy. Oil field guys get spare time. And this when they need to be working or something, they start looking around. Even if they're making a lateral move, they'll just start looking around just because they got time to do it. They'll start talking just because they got time to do it. But that's part of networking too. Um, what did you ask? So basically, everyone but truck drivers are being paid great now. Truck drivers are being paid great. The truck drivers are being paid great. They got experience in it. In North Dakota, they look out for North Dakota people first. What I mean by that is, I know I'm gonna get looked out for when I go back up there because the people I met, hell, the people that know me that live in Mississippi that still work up there. I'm talking about company men, supervisors, uh, people I work with, coordinators, district managers, you name it. You're not gonna get it over. It's gonna take time. So, the truck drivers are making money. The guys hauling the oil are making money. The thing is, you gotta get into that routine of it, know where you're going, and then start getting there. Start getting there. Hauling oil, you may need to get started early, and nobody's feeding the new guy that just showed up and is out there to make money and do this and do that. All eyes may be on you, but the guys that's been there, that's been being consistent, that's been showing up, that's been dependable through rain, sleet, and snow. I can speak from personal experience. When I was at Purity, when I first started working there, they were putting 2 guys to each apartment. Apartment had a room and bathroom on one side, room and bathroom on the other side. I'm gonna get to the rest of the comments in just a second. Just give me a minute. Like I said, room and bathroom on each side of the apartment, and then the living room and kitchen was, kind of open in the middle. When I first started working, the guy I was in orientation with, me and him were in the same apartment. And I think he got fired or quit, which he had issues. He had PTSD, so in the middle of the night, I would just hear banging on the wall, or you would hear him yelling at the top of his lungs, "Sir, yes, sir," and "Get down." And I mean, this dude was loud. And he could beat on the wall, so he didn't last that long. Other guy, I don't remember what his name is. He may still work there, but I doubt it. He had, what you call it? They diagnosed kids with it. He had ADHD. So he did a good job of stuff, but it's hard to explain. He did a good job of stuff. Just his his common sense wasn't his common sense wasn't the best. So it caused problems because I picked a load of water here, go take it here. He go take it there, but he go take it to the wrong disposal there. Anyway, after about the second person or maybe the third person, they just let me alone in the apartment. I didn't have any more. It was just me in a two-bedroom, two-bath apartment. I mean, 2 years I worked there. I say a year and 9 months. It was just me in the apartment. And I remember somebody asked me, "Hey man, is there somebody in your apartment?" Stuff like that. Yeah, just tell them yeah. But then I come to find out from Rodney. He said the reason they left me alone in that apartment is because they called, I answered, and I went and got it done. I just did that because that's what we do here in Mississippi. Call, go get it done. That's, that's all it is. Uh, and if you're from Mississippi or you from the South, you know it. Like we get it done. We work. But and then when they opened up a branch in Wofford City, because we were all in Williston, and Nick can verify this. Everybody moved their stuff and out of their apartments from Williston to Wofford City. They put everybody in apartments in Wofford City. And from that point, I became a trainer. The new guy would come in and I started training him. He would stay in my apartment for like two weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and then he would be off somewhere else or in a different apartment. And I had that apartment to myself until I left. I don't, I don't think Jared is still in Wofford City. I think they're just in Williston. For you guys that work there in Williston, you know, still money in hauling water. Yep, still money in hauling water. The people are still doing it. There's still money in it. When you're making money in it is going to be as an owner operator, just like the guys from Bakken Brothers. They didn't just start doing this. Their YouTube stuff is recent, but them trucks, them Bakken Brother trucks, like I remember them from years ago. So they ain't just started doing this. They met people, they met company, they answered calls when other people were asleep or tired. They answered calls when nobody else answered. They stayed on location when other people left. That stuff is that's what makes you money. That's what makes you money, builds your relationship, and they rather call you than call somebody else. That's how truck drivers make money in the oil field. That's how we make money in the oil field. Being there when other people don't show up, doing a better job, or those two, doing a better job and showing up when other people don't show up, or answering the call when other people don't answer. Because if you don't know, you'll see it in trucking some, but you won't see it in trucking the way you'll see it in the service industry part of the oil field. If you don't get it done, they will get you and your company out of there. And they will get somebody that will do it. What I mean by that, we're on location working. We rig everything in. We're going down across from us. I think it was an 8-well pad. We had 4 wells. Locking had 2. We didn't do anything different. All we did was do our same routine, our same rig up, rig down process. But anyway, we in the beginning, we done rigged up the wells. We going down hole. Now we've done 2 wells. Locking gets there and starts rigging up on their first well. They start rigging up as we're on our way out of hole with pipe. they started their rig up process. This was that evening when we were getting off work. So we already know for us doing it, okay, by the time we come back to work, they're going to be rigged in and pumping by the time we get back to work. So a 12-hour shift, they ought to have everything rigged in. We get back to work that morning. These guys, they got their BOPs on the well. I mean, my bad, they got the flow cross on the well. That's it. They ain't even started running iron yet. And, man, we all talking to one another like, well, maybe they had to wait on something. But we remember the reel was there, their power pack unit and stuff, all that stuff was there. But the only thing they had on the well was a crossover. And in our heads, we were like, what were they doing for 12 hours? Anyway, night shift ended up coming out a hole, getting stabbed onto the next well, which all we had to do was swing, and going down a hole, another shift. By the end of our shift, we were already milling plugs. Matter of fact, I take that back. I think we were tagging the first plugs at the beginning of our shift, or somewhere around like that, or somewhere in between plug 1 and 5, which is the first, somewhere in the first 10 plugs that you get to. And these guys still hadn't finished rigging in. We get off work, okay, they're gonna be rigged in, come back to work. These guys still ain't finished rigged in. Their BOPs ain't on the rig. They got the crane up. Now this is 24 hours of them being on location, and Locken hasn't finished their rig up. These guys are working on iron on the ground. And part of it you can see Locken versus us. That's what made me go to the company I went to go work for in the oil field. Most of the guys I work with at Patriot, I ain't gonna say most, but quite a few guys I work with at Patriot went to go work for this company. And other ones went to go work at this other company. And I went with the one that had the most Patriot guys because, hey, I know what I'm getting into. And who you work with, man, it makes a difference. Oh, man, it makes a difference who you work with. Because people with experience, and I just had this conversation yesterday or day before yesterday, and with Rod, and Rod still worked there. And Rod said out of his own mouth, he said, man, it's like these people you get nowadays, man, they don't know what the hell they do. And like the oil field, it ain't hard work, man. It ain't. It's it can be hard at times. Summertime in West Texas, stuff can be hard. The differences between heat versus -30, wind chill -40 and 50 is totally different. How you operate and treat equipment is totally different. But Texas stays hot for a while. North Dakota, it'll get that cold for a good 30 days. So as long as you're ready for it, you got your anti-gel in your stuff. You got heater hoses on stuff you need to have heater hoses on. You you're pretty much good. And as long as you know to treat certain things a certain way in the winter. Anti-gel works when you have it in there before it gets too cold. I repeat that diesel 911 stuff only works if you already have it in the tank. You don't have that stuff in the tank, you can pour it in there. It ain't gonna do you no good. You still gotta heat that up. I've worked in the Bakken. I've seen trucks on the side of the road and they got the little gas powered heater thing. They got tarps around the truck trying to get that diesel fuel warmed up enough. But here's the problem. You want the truck to turn over, but the entire truck is at air temperature. So it's -30. That metal is at -30. So you're not just warming up the tank, you got to warm everything underneath the hood up long enough for it to warm up Everything else started the truck afire. They don't tell you that stuff about the winter. Make sure you're using the correct fuel in the winter, and use the treated fuel and treat the fuel. Just because it says it's treated fuel does not mean you need to rely on that. 5 degrees, 25 degrees, 30 degrees to 5 degrees, yeah, okay. Excuse me, but once you get to 5 degrees below that, or once you get below zero, you gotta treat stuff different. You get to negative 30, don't turn it off. Some equipment will pop right back in negative 30. Some equipment will not. Some equipment, if it's not plugged in, running at 800 RPMs to 1,000 RPMs idle, depending on how cold it is. If it shuts off and gets cold, congratulations. You finna be dealing with that shit for days. I'm telling you right now. Some equipment can deal with the cold better than others, and I can't say that it's Caterpillar or Cummins. It just really depends. If it's got emissions on it, good luck. You're about to have some fun. Keep your stuff plugged in. Every vehicle I've got from North Dakota has one of those heater block heaters on it. Every single one. Every vehicle I bought from North Dakota has that block heater. Some vehicles would start up great in the winter. Some of them would not start up great in the winter. Anything I bought from down here that took up there did not like the winter in North Dakota. Shout out to Bach and Phil of the day Facebook page. Shout out to you guys and you guys that came over here from there. I've been talking for a minute. Still money in hauling water. Yes, still money in hauling water. If you're gonna haul water, in my opinion, Mongoose. I think it's called Mongoose Hot Shot. I think it's called Mongoose Hot Shot. I don't remember the oil company that either owns them or it's the one brother owns the transportation side, the other brother owns the oil company, and the oil company hauls their water off. And I've told a number of people like, hey, if you want a company driver job, you know, try those guys out because they have their own water that they haul. It's not like they're hauling water for someone else. So no one can take their work from them. I think it's Mongoose Hot Shot, North Dakota. Yeah, I think that's the Partial, North Dakota. That's where they're at. There's nothing impartial. So please understand that there's nothing impartial. Outside of Williston, Wofford City, Newtown, that big square of northwestern North Dakota, you got Sydney. Miles City, not really. I think Sydney's the bigger one, but that whole quarter, that big square over there in that area, yeah. Mongoose Trucking and Hotshot LLC. If you were to ask me if you were going to go be company driver for somewhere where those are the guys that I talk to, and once they tell me about the company having their own wells that they haul, I'm like, okay, awesome. That's kind of the way Purity got started. Purity is a sister company, was a sister company. I don't know about now. Oh, Petro Hunt, which is the Hunt brothers. One of the sons started Purity, and so Purity hauled Petro Hunt wells. Purity hauled any and all of the contracted Petro Hunt well stuff that was in or that is in that area up there. And Petro Hunt had their own disposals, I think, or they had a few. Also, XTO had some disposals. Continental still has some disposals, so on and so forth. So Purity had an advantage versus Power Fuels, Nuvera. I think Nuvera might still be around, and some of the other companies that they were trucking companies that hauled, that supplied with transportation for goods for customers. Purity had their own, so that Purity could always depend on their own work to be available to them. That's a great benefit if you're in a situation like that. That's going to be one of those, if you're looking to go independent from there, whether you're doing your own service truck, owner operator, or starting a service, whatever, you would have to network from the people you meet at well sites, on locations. That's one of those, if you're going up there to be an above average owner operator, you're going to have to get out, go talk, go listen, remember names, get cards, get phone numbers, and you're going to have to be aggressive with trying to stand out and be a better business and provide a better service. Otherwise, you just like everybody else. Nobody can tell the difference. Nobody remembers you. If you're going up there to be an owner operator, because there's people up there that'll run circles around. When I went to West Texas, there was people running circles around me because I didn't know West Texas. You can't run circles around me in North Dakota. You can talk, but you can't run circles around me in North Dakota. Hence why I keep going back to North Dakota. And by average, North Dakota pays me. Sand, I don't know about sand. I think sand up there is sand in North Dakota has been regulated. It's the best way I could put that. Sand in North Dakota has been regulated, which means you're gonna haul it for, I don't remember the name, I don't remember the name, I don't remember the name, and I don't remember the name. You're gonna haul sand for somebody through one of them, and you ain't getting around them. Things may be different now. I don't know. Water, you can slide by with water because there's bigger companies and smaller companies that need somebody to haul some water. So you can get started that way. But I haven't hauled water in a long time. So Bakken Brothers have been hauling water for a while. They've been operating for a while. They haven't made a video in a while. But we're at that turnover part of the year. It's April. Frost laws are in. So they'll be hauling less up until end of May, mid-May, something like that. So what's the starting pay? Starting pay, I'm gonna say cheap. As far as, I'm gonna just say cheap. I'm gonna say 80, which I don't think it's 80. I think it's 100. And I'm talking about gross. I'm gonna say 80. That way you can lower your expectations from whatever you got, you know, imagining in your head. But easily 100. If you driving trucks in North Dakota and you're making less than 100, I'm assuming your benefits would be equivalent of another 20,000 a year. It's my opinion. Woo! Dude, man, I got some other stuff. I didn't even realize half this stuff. Uh, And truck drivers make more money than the average, whatever, wherever. If you look at the average across the United States of America and you put it together, your CDL makes you an extra 20, 30 grand on top of that. So your CDL puts in your pocket whatever the national average is, and you pay. I guess I need to make an example. Let's say the national average income is 70,000 a year. In trucking, you should be making 100, so you're making an extra 30 a year. And I'm guessing everybody in truck is making 100,000 a year. If you're single and you can't live off that, shoot, I don't know what you're doing. And I hope everybody gets their desire of chasing those green people around all over the place. And I hope that everybody gets your house, whatever you live in, paid off. Or if not paid off, you've already got the money to pay it off. Miscellaneous. But yeah. My family lives in Jackson. Too fit to quit says. Man, it doesn't let me see your YouTube page on here. But I think that depends on your phone or which version you got. Never enough. Up in Alaska, we cut it with kerosene, anti-gel. Doesn't work for us. He said, hey, Alaska is just gonna get cold and stay cold. North Dakota, North Dakota gets cold, but it's like it's slow. It gets cold in stages. And it first comes in mid-October. It'll drop off, come back up. North Dakota's cold is like the stock market chart. It'll drop off, come back up, drop off, come back up, drop off, come back up, drop off, come back up. Last week in January, it drops off, it stays there to about March the 1st, and then it'll come back up a little, come back up a little, drop off, come back a little, up a little, drop off, come back up a little, drop off. That's how the winter in North Dakota is. So you get used to it. You can take clothes off for the heat. You can only take so many clothes off for the heat, but you can always put on more clothes for the winter. So that is the benefit of winter. And hey guys, please hit that like, subscribe, and share out the live here. And if any of you guys need Oilfield gloves, still smell green. With the tag still on them. The tag still on them. Like I said before, all of this stuff is for sale. Gloves are for sale. And these are winter gloves. The only downside about these kind are after you've used them a little bit, when you go to take your hand out of them, the liner, the winter liner will come out of them. And you're sitting there trying to go to work, trying to get your hands back in the gloves. But other than that, these work good for a little while. These are summer style gloves. These are just regular impact gloves. They're all impact gloves, as a matter of fact. Just These are impact gloves for summer. I didn't realize I had this much stuff in here. And I'll show you. This, hold on a second. 62%. This stuff I have had 5 years, I think. This stuff has been in here for 5 years. All of that stuff right there. All of that stuff right there came from Patriot. And I got that from Patriot because when Patriot was closing their doors after we hauled off all of the equipment to the auction yard. Anything else that was in the yard was fair game. I wish I'd have had a trailer because there were parts, like heavy metal parts and all kinds of stuff that nobody had anything to do with or nowhere to haul it off with or something big enough. Because the guy that did haul it off, everything was thrown into a you've seen a dump truck. It's called an open top. It's like two dump trucks put together. So it's two big long open dump truck shipping containers, pretty much. Everything was taken out of whatever's in the shipping container, laying around in the yard, and was all thrown off in there. The metal in there by itself was probably $3,000-4,000 worth of metal. Then, not counting anything else that was something different, copper or whatever else, aluminum. I'm talking about stuff that was just like metal like that. Anyway, you guys give me more questions. I'll give you more answers. You give me more questions, I'll give you more answers. We said new gloves. I don't know what the RW. I don't know what the RWH stands for, but regular, winter. I think H is for rubber gloves, winter gloves, and H is for impact gloves. That's why I'm so awesome. The fact that I wrote something like that and I remember it. All that's for something. And I actually sold a big bag of gloves for $200. So, hey man, the Oilfield stuff pays off. Oilfield stuff pays off. Shout out to all you guys. Thank y'all. I know I don't make lives very much because I thought of getting on the stream yard, but in my sector where I'm at, that's the type of stuff out there. Concepts guy. He was a truck driver. black dude that used to make YouTube videos. He did submit. Tanker Monkey was hauling water. Bakken Brother is the only one I can think of now. This guy and his dog in North Dakota, he makes YouTube videos up there. I think he went to Texas for a little while, but I think he's predominantly in North Dakota. Oh yeah, North Dakota also has seasonal work. So if you're looking for, which I'm kind of thinking about it, because Jeff works at this company and he sent me their information. They start up around this time of year, April, and they wrap up around November 1st. And the non-drivers make 60 a year. They get their unemployment for 3 months. So that's kind of perfect, allow me to travel and go take care of other stuff because I got a house that needs taken care of. Oh yeah, man, I was talking about home ownership, bro. Guys, when or if you have your own house that you have to maintain, let me tell you, there is something every single day. I haven't, I never did it as much as I do it now. But now regularly, I walk around my house. I walk around looking for something to put on the list of stuff to get done. I look at what needs to be done now, what needs to be done within a few months, and what possibly needs to get done, within the year. And that's what I've been doing since I came back from the Philippines. I've been tackling one thing after another after another. I have a shed, took everything out of there, got all this stuff out, getting rid of all this stuff, selling all this stuff, and I made some shelves to go in my shed so I can organize stuff better. I can actually walk into it now. Selling the blue and white truck out there, selling the K5 Blazer, selling the drive-in trailer, selling the pneumatic trailer. Already sold my white International. I'm just simplifying everything. Simplifying everything. I don't expect or plan to go into being an owner operator probably ever again in the future. And shout out to all the owner operators out there. Shout out to all you guys out there that make great content, YouTube videos, all you guys that are getting started, all of you guys that have been doing it for a while. Shout out to all the people that make oil field content, no matter what it is, fluid levels. Shout out to the Landman show. I was telling the guy, man, that's the best oil field show I've ever seen. And I say that because there's certain stuff that's said and talked about in that show that unless you have worked in the oil field, and I mean work, I don't mean trucking, I mean like work, and you've been around and you've seen it, you sat in those safety meetings where people are breaking down, what stuff does. That's another thing I really like about the oil field. The oil field will allow you to be around different people who have been different places that have done different stuff. Yeah, Dodger. I can't remember what his name is. Yeah, that guy. Uh, I met him, had breakfast with him some years ago. Uh, I don't remember what his YouTube channel name is, but the guy with the dog. You know what I'm talking about? The winter dog. Dodger's Adventures or something. Anyway, because he told me what he was going to name it before he made the YouTube channel, but I don't remember what it is. Uh, to the young guys that's looking to get into the oil field. Young guys that are looking to get into the oil. I got a hard hat light up in here. I don't know how many H2S monitors I got. Still got all that in it. I don't think this thing's ever even been turned on, but you'd have to calibrate it. That's just a regular H2S monitor. I got a 4-gas monitor somewhere in there, which needs to be out here. I don't know how many. I don't know how many of these I've got. How many of the multi vapor filters I've got. I don't know how many of the half masks I've got. I don't know how many Continental Resources these things I've got. A bunch. But anyway, to the young guys that's interested in getting started in the oil and gas industry, some of you guys are gonna apply and you ain't never gonna hear nothing from anybody. Some of you guys are gonna apply and you're gonna hear from somebody right then. The oil field is more hands-on, and if you know somebody, that's better. Or if you know somebody that's better, somebody that can get your application pushed along, I've got to message my nephew about going to work where I was working at, because I told him, like, hey, I got somebody. He's got a CDL. He's got a little bit of oil field experience, but it's not what we do, oil field experience. But I'm like, hey, y'all hire him. I'll be back there tomorrow, and I mean tomorrow. But still got to go through orientation, all that kind of stuff, and you fit test. Jason Andrew Jackson, do you ever haul water? Like uh, you ever use one of these? Your strap stick? I don't know if he's still watching this. I thought about that, like, man, I've got a strap stick. And I've got 2 full face masks with cartridges. I mean, that'll come in handy, if you're painting something. This come in handy for painting something, but the paint will get on your face shield. But the half mask will work just fine. I don't think I have any face shields. Yeah. Oh, man, stuff. But there's a lot of options. Also, some of you guys may want to look into hauling I think it's LPG, liquid liquid propane gas, and there's another one. I got a job offer from a place. It was quoted 120 on the low side, 140 to 150 on the high side as far as what you would make a year. I don't remember what their schedule was, and it would be hauling liquid propane and something else, but it will be hauling those. I've actually seen the company in North Dakota before. Like they do liquid. Oh damn, dude. Uh, they do gas capture. I guess that's the best way I could put it. Shout out to Rayford Hickman. What's up, Rayford? Shout out to you. And as I said at the beginning of the video, you guys are interested in any of the oil field stuff that I've got for sale before I have my yard sale, message me so we can come up with a price and I can send it to you. So what other questions you guys got? What else are you guys interested in hearing about? Any concerns about the oil and gas industry? Is it worth it? Yes, it's worth it. Now, if you've already got a career that you've been at for a long period of time, for a lot of years, you put a lot of time into it and it's paying you X amount of dollars, whatever that X amount of dollars may be. Then you have to do the personal math on what's going to add up, what what is going to pay what is going to be worth starting over. Because don't get me wrong, you will be starting over in the oil and gas industry. But that CDL, you have a CDL, will help you make that starting over maybe like this or like this. Now, if you could have got into this stuff in the boom, because in the boom, there was so much work. Dude, man, there was so much work. Company drivers were hauling for their company and then hauling as an owner operator with the same truck and trailer. I'm trying to remember a video that Biden brothers made. They were talking about safety. So, man, look, everybody, safety is important, but don't get it twisted. The job is gotta be done. Yes, everybody wants you to do it safely. Everybody wants you to do it safely in a safe manner. Don't get anybody hurt. It's getting somebody hurt, it's going to get somebody sued. And oil companies are not getting involved in this stuff, doing this stuff to get sued. When when the tanker blew up and the guy was welding on it, 2014 at neighbor's MPS yard. I've told this story plenty of times. I met the guy maybe a day or two before that because I was talking to him about fixing something in my van that I wanted. Like I wanted to have something welded because I wanted like a bracket to put a plug in this inverter that I had. So I talked to him and I met him. This was 2 3 days, maybe at the most a week before the tanker blew up. And he seemed like a pretty cool guy, but you know he was busy. Like he was always doing something. He was always welding something. So and plus I think he was the only welder that we had at Neighbors at that time. I think it was just one guy welding, or it was two guys, and then when the other guy goes on his off days, however many days that is, like, hey, it's just one guy. But forgot where I was going with that. But be safe, bro. The oil field has dangers to it, but most of the dangers is maintenance related and complacency related. The show Landman, in the very first episode, I watched it, and it's so much stuff. It's true. You know, they played a prank on that guy where they told him to go up to the top and go get something. Stuff like that happens. I've been a part of it. I've done it. Hey, go get the Vidor key. Watch this guy go all over location, asking every company until he got to the company man. And the company man called over the radio, don't send this guy back over here. And he goes around asking other people about this Vidor key. So stuff like that happens, but that's like some no big deal stuff. Plus, when you're new, you don't know. Not only do you not know, you don't know. Um, you don't know what's going on. So you're gonna see this happen. It'll happen to you after you've been in the oil field. You'll see it happen to other people. New person to get there, they'll go do this. Really, they just kind of want you to get out of the way, because if you get there with an crew of experienced people, they've already got their rhythm. They already know where they're going. They know where they're going next after that, and they know what they're going to do when they finish. So unless the new guy is hands-on, assistant minded, like he's going to assist you in whatever it is, okay, cool. You can work with that. But if you don't know, I'm talking about two different kinds of people. I'm not talking about standing watch, aka saw. I'm not talking about a saw, aka stand and watch. They know who I'm talking about. Anyway, I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about a stand and watch person. He go to work when the say came to our crew. Everybody figured, okay, he's gonna be a pretty solid guy. He was asking questions, and when we asked him to do something, he would initiate doing it. Man, when you work with a crew of people, that's what you want to see from a new person. You ask them to do something, even if they're not clear, not sure what you even said. You have to ask for what did you say, or initiate trying to do it. And for some of you that are going to work in the oil and gas industry, there's going to be some times when somebody's going to move out of the way. It's going to happen, bro. All of us have had to do it. Like, just stop. Hold on, just stop. I got it. Because it's certain stuff that once you've been doing it for a while, rebuilding a pump, when we're on location and we've got one or two pieces of equipment going, that's not really the best figure out time. We're trying to get it going and get back to work. Get it going and get the equipment operating. Usually, people who are the most efficient at doing that are going to be the first ones to jump on it. Then the new guy can be like the third person to kind of watch and help or assist or get something while we figure this out, troubleshooting this problem. If you're going into crack, if you're going into wireline, if you're going into any of that kind of stuff, pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to stuff that you hear. If you hear sounds, you hear noises outside of the usual stuff. You hear noises and sounds outside of the usual stuff. Know what those noises and those sounds are. If it's something that you never heard before, just keep a mental note or write it down. This was making this noise, at this time when we were doing this, but it wasn't doing it in the beginning. I'm gonna give you a perfect example of that. Give you a perfect example of that. Uh, Give me a minute. If I hadn't said it already, shout out to S125. Says I'm in North Dakota right now. S125. That's a that's a seat trucker right there. S125. Stay keeping that truck. He stay getting to the money. And shout out to all the rest of you guys. Thank y'all for tuning in. I was gonna make this live Sunday, but then I started working back here, doing stuff. Luckily, everything's done with the exception of this stuff, which I'm getting together now. All my other projects out there are pretty much done. So that's the awesome thing about that. And I got another question for you guys. If you're watching this video right now, I asked this question when I was on Truck Community Clips a few days ago. Would you say that trucking or the CDL changed your life? I can say that CDL changed my life. That CDL changed the direction my life was going in. That CDL changed the trajectory of where I was then. I have seen, touched, and been involved with and had the ability to experience and go places and do things that my mind couldn't imagine when I was 18, 19, and 20 years old. If you'd have told me, if you'd have asked me way back then, man, I wouldn't mind having a trailer, a house, have some land to put a trailer on, just trying to get that type stuff. And it may be somebody out there, watching this. You're trying to get going. You're trying to get traction to get up this hill of life. And sometimes it starts with stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing what you don't normally do. And I don't know why I didn't embrace it more and just take advantage and do it more before I went to the Philippines. Going to the Philippines and then coming back home, it's like, let's get it. 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 I wake up in the morning, let's get it. If I don't see nothing to do, let's get it. If I stay in this house for too long, I start getting anxiety and I gotta come outside and start doing something. If I stay in Mississippi for too long, I start getting anxiety. I gotta leave here. Start doing something. Start doing something. Start doing something. Family keep asking me why do I keep going up there to work? I could start a business down here. Cause after being here for so long, I got to go. Got to move. Got to do. And I'm working on something. I'm working on a couple things that's here related. But that's more retirement focused and backup plan. So it's kind of like having an extra CD. Anyway, give me a minute. I'm trying to That is the west, west, east, south, north, and I can see there's a storm coming. And let me get back to you guys' comments. If I missed something that I started to talk about and I could just leave me a comment and remind me of something. But, B Rad, shout out to B Rad, shout out to Never Enough, 250 Quit, shout out to Henry Bob Swillikers, shout out to Chasing Andrew Jackson, shout out to Unsubscriber 007, shout out to VG, shout out to Dirty Broke 215, shout out to Augusto Cote, Cody Cote, and shout out to Jet, shout out to B Red, and shout out to S125. I'll get back to the comments. Do you know the name of the LPG company? I'm the guy that was asking you about CNG in North Dakota a few months back. Hold on. It takes time to get to the comments because there's not a lot of comments coming, and I want to get my thoughts out or whatever it is that I'm got at the got in my head at the time. Liquid. Uh, dude, I think I deleted it. Hold on a minute. Liquid nitrogen, liquid nitrogen gas. Um, it'll be in that trash folder. Give me a minute. I got it in here because Badland Tank Lines has I think it's a $5,000 sign-on bonus for truck drivers to come haul crude oil, but I think it's for if you have crude oil hauling experience. Oh yeah, CNG and NGL transport driver, and this is for Balance Natural Gas in Williston, North Dakota. It's a company called. I hope that ain't backwards and you can see it. But Balance Natural Gas Solutions. That's one. Uh, Liberty Oilfield Services is hiring, but that's if you're interested in that's a work position, but you have to have your CDL to drive the equipment out to location. It's called Liberty Oilfield Services. Uh, there's a staffing company talking about there's a cement operator position in Midland, Midland, West Texas, but I'm not applying for no staffing company. That's not happening. It says $33 an hour, but I don't do that staffing stuff unless I'm just going to do the staffing stuff because I want to. And I think that crude oil was, and there's another one for Energy Transfer Partners, which is in North Dakota. Some companies have housing, some companies don't have housing. And my personal experience, some companies have housing, but they ain't telling you. They not talking about it. They not even bringing it up until you're getting an offer letter. I think Badlands has housing or you stay in a truck. One of the two. One of the two. One of the two. Here comes the rain. Hey y'all, I'll be back here in just a minute. If you guys got any more questions, throw them down there. I'll be back. I gotta go make sure all my windows and stuff is up. Uh, as far as as far as entry level stuff, any place that gives you more options. That's my advice to anybody who's new to the oil and gas industry. Any place that gives you as many options as you possibly can. Um, Be Red, I hope that answer gave you. I hope that's the company that you're talking about. Uh, I don't know what is it with Be Red if you're still watching. Let me know. And Balance energy. I started looking at something else. Balance energy. Yeah, CNG. Yeah, balance energy. BALE. Shout out to S125. What about frac fueling companies? Any good ones? Office and Oil sent me a message. But I don't know, man. I applied for them a while back, and then they called me. Said, you're gonna hire your own. And then when I got there, I went through all the orientation and stuff, and the dude failed me on the driving test. And the moment in which he said it, I didn't offer no kind of resistance because it was a personal insult. But I looked at it as, okay, this place was not my first choice. Cool. Let me just keep it pushing because if this is the type of people you got here, and at this time I've been driving 10 years, and he said that I failed a driving test, and all we did was go around and we went down the dirt road, back up the dirt road, and out here onto the lake. And he said that. I'm like, now I will say this: the transmission was an 8 speed, but it wasn't going in gear like it was an 8 speed. It was going in gear like it was a 10 speed. It didn't have the last two gears, and it didn't have a diagram. And I'm shifting, and I get to 8, and I get ready to go to 9, and there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I go back to 8, and I try to go to 9 again, and there's nothing there. But I can feel there's a space for there to be a gear there. I'm like, what the hell? And it's got the splitter, but anyway, whatever. Yeah, Robinson Oil has some batteries in West Texas. Jeff worked there for some years. Jeff did fuel in there for some years. Jeff was making more than me working there, doing fueling for some years. And I think Jeff got his CDL there while he was working there. I think Robinson paid for him to get his CDL while he was there. But Jeff was also, me and Jeff were similar. I met Jeff at the command center, aka Barking Staffing. Shout out to everybody that's been there. Uh, I met Jeff at Barking Staffing, and we went out to the job with a Creek Energy Services, Creek Oilfield Services at the time. It was a Indian fueling company that provide fuel and fueled up the frac equipment on location in North Dakota. So we both started working there. And anyway, we both started working there. And I still message Jeff. We still talk from time to time. He's been at this company he's at now. He's been there since 2020, I think. I think he was there before 2020. I think he was there before 2020. So he's been doing the seasonal road construction work type stuff. He says he likes it. So hey, but Robinson's a good company, but Robinson, from my experience in keeping up with Jeff over the years, Robinson was one of those companies that could have been better with management, but they don't really have to be. If you catch what I'm saying? They've got enough work, they don't really have to be. They got enough people busy, so they don't really have to. But then also, there's another guy I used to work with. I don't remember what his name is, but he works there. He just goes out and he does fluid deliveries, where they'll go deliver motor oil to a customer, hydraulic fluid, transmission fluid, coolant to a customer, and they have these big 500 to 1,000 gallon tanks that they offload it into. And since he goes and he does his route, he goes and he checks and he puts the information in the computer. That's what he does. He goes back home every day. And he's happy with the money that he makes, and he's home every single day. And it's really, really easy. Really, really easy. If that rain noise gets to be too much, we will be putting an end to this live. So you guys let me know down there in the comments. Also, hit that like button, strike, subscribe, share. And if you have any more questions, throw them out here while I'm out. Yeah, Robinson don't have rotation. Robinson one of them places. If you were trying to get your money up and you came in the oil field, whether you were doing fuel tech guy, which starts out at $18, $20 an hour, you can still come up off that. Because if they still doing fueling the way I remember them doing it, you could just be out there on location until whenever. Pinnacle, that's another company that does fuel. I think they still do, but I think Pinnacle, my bad, MVP, which is Missouri Valley Petroleum, is owned by Lund, Lund, Lund Oil. They do bulk fuel deliveries and stuff like that. I got a job offer from them to go work for them. This was some years ago, and they were going to start me out at like $35 an hour. And they said it was all the hours you want. And when you hear that in the oil field, you can work up until you can work until hazard. You can work until you become a hazard or you cause a hazard. So you can work all the hours you want, but up until you mess it up. So you look at the hours, and that's one of the benefits of the oil field. The oil field helps people get caught up or get ahead. Chasing Andrew Jackson is an example of that. The oil field helped him get caught up, it helped him get ahead. I can testify that the oil field helped me get caught up and the oil field helped me get ahead. Trucking got me to a certain point to where you kind of, you're trucking like everybody else is trucking. But the oil field went beyond that because the oil field will never end. You could automate trucks to a certain point on that highway because that highway is designed for it. You can bounce signals off of that highway. So automated stuff will get there quicker. And also, your GPS that you have on your phone, that you drive with it on and you use it. Everywhere that GPS has been, including my GPS on my phone, and your GPS on your GPS mapping system, on your e-log system, has made that exact same route every single time down whatever street. They've already got all of the data that you made this turn at this place and you're in the tractor. So the tractor went this much wide around this turn and successfully made the turn with a tractor of this make, this model that has a VIN number that can be identified with its measurements and its weight, pulling a trailer with a VIN number with its dimensions and its weight. So they already have all of the information that they need, and they're steady building a larger database of information to make things automated. So automated trucks are coming because we're building the infrastructure for them digital. Your GPS on your phone, iPhone or Android or whatever you may have. Anytime you've ever used it to go somewhere, you've made a path somewhere that's tracked and kept a log of that path that that vehicle moved. Just like Google Maps has the street view had to be established and made. So those little Google cars you see going around, I even saw some in the Philippines. They're slowly mapping all the different places. The same thing could be done with data of GPS. This truck data, this truck's GPS was activated at this time, and it moved from this spot, got to this spot, and it sent that information to and from that satellite, to and from that cell phone tower of its recorded uh, location. So we've already given automated companies, automatic trucks, all the information that they need. They're just going to fine tune it. That's my theory. And I don't know everything. Yeah, practice. Because actually, man, like frac fueling, because can you guys hear me? Radio check. Radio check. Radio check. Okay. If you guys can hear me, put a message down there because I clicked on to the live on my phone, but I don't hear any sound coming out of it. Radio check. Radio check. Man, doggone it. I don't know how you. Give me a second to try to figure out this audio stuff. Hold on. Hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. I'm trying to figure out this audio stuff. I hope I don't have to go back out of it. guys can hear music playing. Man, I don't hear nothing, bro. Yeah, I bet I had that. Uh, yeah, ain't no way to fix this, bro. So radio check, radio check, radio check. Does that sound better? Hey man, look, bro. Uh, Great hanging out with you guys. I don't think it's the sound's messed up, and I don't think fixing it or starting over will fix it. So I don't know what's up with this shit. It's all good though. Thank y'all for tuning in, checking out the content. We'll try and do this again one day. Uh, Microphone is messed up. So yeah, I ain't. If it ain't gonna be good visually and it ain't gonna sound good, I ain't gonna keep on trying to do it. We'll do this another day. Shout out to all y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all be safe out there. Stay tuned for some more videos. Let me know in the comments or leave me a comment or send me something on Messenger. You'll see the link pinned on my YouTube homepage. If you got any questions or you want to refer anybody to ask me any questions, just throw them out there. I'll answer them as I get them. And y'all be safe, bro. I'll see y'all later. JPTV3000. You know who it is.